I want to create humans, but I don't want to create existing humans. I don't want to make an image of someone existing. I want to create a new human that looks at us and we see ourselves in it. It's like a mirror effect. I was invited by the Collezione, and I really wanted to give the spectator different approaches to the different works, with diverse formats, with different techniques, and make specific works for each room. And then the idea came up, how could I use these windows as a wall, also as a work of art? And so this idea came up with these plexi glasses to paint on, where you see a painting, but you can also see through. But you can also see like this figure, this soldier, with this musician soldier, coming from the trees to us. It was already like since some years I had this idea of these musician soldiers, because we are influenced by music, we can be manipulated by music. And then I found out that kind of the military music, it's here to motivate young soldiers to be a unity, to go somewhere, to make them emotional about what they do, to kill other people. You would never do it in normal life. Coming from the soldiers, we speak about like men, lonely men often, but what is behind? There's always a family behind, right? And I'm thinking a lot about what is actually a role, for example, of a father, a role of a mother, of a child. Like what are the different positions, also of hierarchy, but also emotionally in a family. So for example, we have this big painting, which probably resumes a bit an important family structure that we see a lot nowadays. It's this patchwork family. You have in the middle this person, this father or this mother that kind of gets into the universe of this family and picks up the child, binds the shoes and picks it up for maybe, let's say, the weekend or so. And then you suddenly can feel all this tension of this family, because the ex-wife or the ex-man try to be okay, because it's a tough moment for the child, because the child goes from one home to the other home. And I mean, the dream of every child is that the parents are kind of okay with each other. In this exhibition, there's also this passage between like the interior to the wilderness, and this passage is happening actually in a park. And I was looking a lot at parks, because I think it's interesting, because the park is kind of in a city the place where you breathe, but the park is completely constructed as well. And here the cow theme is very dominant, because it was a theme that I was quite touched here when I came to Reggio. I was then asking, but what does grow here actually? What are you producing here? It's actually a huge milk producing area, but you don't see any cows. And these cows, they're all in stables, because for the perfect Parmigiano, you kind of need this way to produce this milk in a stable, and with this special clover that is not able to grow so efficient if there are cows on it. And you see these huge cows that have only a few muscles to stand, but with big udders. And I wanted to make these cows somehow visible. In the last room, we have kind of an open space, and we have large-scale paintings. It's actually like the end of the parkour, where suddenly like the space opens up again, and we are in free nature. Nature is anyway an important topic in this exhibition. It's about like manipulated nature, it's about wilderness. But in the last space we are really in kind of almost untouched nature. That's the feeling you get at the beginning, and then suddenly you see actually I'm on a field. And this is not at all nature, because it's like completely controlled by machines, by agriculture. There is like one plant growing over kilometers. The last work, the really big work, we go a step far. We take again the topic of the military, and we go really up to the mountains, and we see kind of the last part of wilderness. But we see also that this part of the wilderness is really fragile and like dying. With climate change, the glacier is like melting. And in front you have this soldier that should be proud, playing, I don't know, for example, a hymn, national hymn, but these glowing Alps, they're really glowing actually, they're burning. I think also when I paint these mountains, very clear to be seen through also the eye on paintings of Segantini, of Hodler, and all these Swiss painters that actually constructed this idea also of the Swiss mountains, because it's a reality, but it's an idea behind it. It's even a commercial and economic idea behind, because the Swiss hoteliers, the Swiss touristic industry was interested that these famous painters paint this beautiful wilderness. And even these painters were also criticized because they would show kind of a romantic landscape that was not at all the reality of the people, because it was rough. Switzerland at that time, it was poor. I think these images of these Alps that I paint, they cite this like kind of beautiful landscape, but also they kind of question it because they're kind of exaggerated, they're ironic, with the red, with the fluorescent color shining through, almost like in game design. So it's almost like an animation. And I think also people that look at images today, they're used to this kind of animations, to this logic, so they can also understand if I paint them like this.